man declares he's the owner of the suitcase, so Officer Gary confirms his fate.
I'm arresting you on suspicion of the illegal importation of a controlled drug into the UK. Straight over towards that officer over there.
At Gatwick Airport, a flight has just landed from Montego Bay in Jamaica. UK border agency officers are using drug detection dogs and an X-ray machine to monitor luggage coming off the flight. A dog indication has been given on 2 suitcases, and the X-ray strongly suggests that there are drug smugglers on the flight. In the baggage reclaim area, officers closely monitor the first of the passengers to collect one of the suspect's suitcases. A young mother and child collect the case and head towards the customs channels. It's here that Officer Mike steps in to stop the woman and break the news to her.
Controlled drug. Your bags. The bags you just said are yours. Therefore, I am arresting you on suspicion of being involved in the importation of controlled drug. Do not have to say anything. It may harm your defence. Do not mention when questioned. Something may later rely in court. Anything you do so may be given in evidence. Do you understand?
The woman is led away for further questioning, but protests her innocence.
Please don't play the game. Right, we're going to be getting some women in to search you anyway.
That's fine.
Meanwhile, the second suspect suitcase is collected by another passenger.
Hello there, sir. You travelling alone today? Just bring your bag over to the bench for me, please.
The man declares he's the owner of the suitcase, so Officer Gary confirms his fate.
I'm arresting you on suspicion of the illegal importation of a controlled drug into the UK. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you don't mention, when questioned, something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand you've been arrested and cautioned? Right, if you come this way with me.
The man is also led away for further questioning.
Straight over towards that officer over there.
With both passengers now under arrest, Gary can finally inspect the suspicious brown packages found in the suitcases.
We suspect them to contain herbal cannabis, and that's why the gentleman's been arrested and cautioned.
The contents of the packages will need to be formally assessed to get an idea about the weight and the value of the drugs. Since being in custody, the male passenger's mobile phone has gone off several times.
Certainly trying to get hold of you, aren't they? That's his mobile phone keep going off. It's obviously his accomplices trying to find out where he is, hopefully looking for their commodity, which they're not going to get.
In Gatwick's South Terminal, passengers have just arrived from Madrid, and border agency officers are on the lookout for signs of suspicious behaviour. A lone male passenger who started his journey in Argentina has been intercepted. After a routine baggage search, Officer Johnson has found thousands of dollars in cash, which the passenger hasn't declared.
Found some money. I've not counted it yet, but he's actually told me that it's about $35,000.
Okay, is that US dollars?
US
yeah,
dollars.
okay.
There.
What's he doing with it? What's he say he's doing with it?
Doesn't have any specific reason for having it.
Any sum of cash over 10,000 euros needs to be declared.
Yeah, will do. Okay.
Officers are entitled to question passengers carrying anything over 1,000 euros to ensure it has no links to organised crime.
The legislation is such that it's down to the individual to prove that the money is his and is for a legitimate purpose. So if we're not sure or uncertain of anything they're saying, we can detain the money, and it's down to them to, like I say, prove that it is legit.
With such a large sum of cash, background checks are carried out on the passenger to find out if he has any prior offences.
Greg, it's Kim. Yeah. Well, he's got 35,000 US on him, so yeah, it's anything really. We just see what we can get on him. Thanks, Greg.
Kim joins her colleague Johnson to continue with the questioning about where the cash has come from.
The money's mine.
The money is all yours. Yeah. Well, what is it for?
Well, this is the one where I explained to your colleague. I just went back to Argentina for a week. Because my mother died 4 or 5 years ago. And then we just finished all the stuff with regards to the money and
The will and the inheritance. Yeah, okay.
This is basically my share.
Have you got documentation to prove that? Because otherwise the money can be seized off you. Because you're travelling with over £5,000 worth of cash, and you haven't got any.
Oh no, certainly I can. I mean,
How long would it take you to get these documents?
well,
Have
they
you got
concern Argentina.
They're in Argentina, are they?
Yes. I mean, I can get copies.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever the courier takes.
Right.
With no documents or other evidence showing where the money's come from, it looks increasingly unlikely the man will be leaving the airport with his cash. In the airport's North Terminal, officers are still investigating the 2 passengers who were found to have what looks like packages of herbal cannabis in their suitcases. A strip search was conducted on both passengers, but no further packages were found. The woman is led away to the airport's custody suite to be detained, whilst Officer Mike assesses the quantity and value of the drugs found in her suitcase.
She had 8 blocks in the bag, all of them are about 2 kilos each, but I'll chuck them on the scales in a minute and just get a weight of all of them together.
With such a large haul of suspect packages, a field test must be conducted to confirm that the substance definitely is herbal cannabis.
Put the first drop on it, then that will go through onto the second bit of filter paper. Then put some of this powdery stuff on it. And if it's positive, it should go sort of a dark red colour. Right, that's a positive then.
Okay, there's a couple of blankets there. If you want anything, just give us a buzz. Okay?
The male passenger is also detained at the custody suite.
There's not a lot you can do until he actually gets his solicitor, speaks to him. Then after that, other officers will go and interview him. And until then, we're just now going to go through the bags and find out exactly what he's got.
A series of large, brown, sealed packages are pulled from the bottom of the man's suitcase. There are 8 blocks in total, making it another very significant seizure. Gary weighs the packages of drugs to find out how much the male passenger was carrying.
And as you can see there, the 8 blocks weigh approximately 17.26 kilograms. So there's probably about 16.5 to 17 kilograms of herbal cannabis within them packages.
With 2 suitcases full of herbal cannabis being intercepted from the same flight, officers are delighted with the seizure. The 16 blocks found in both suitcases weighed over 34 kilograms in total and had a street value of £80,000 to £100,000. In the South Terminal, officers are still trying to decide what to do with the man who failed to declare he was carrying over $35,000 US and £5,000 in cash.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to help, but I can call Buenos Aires, just try to find my father, and ask him just to fax the documents. The problem is they're going to be in Spanish.
That's going to be the problem. I think we'll just wait till the officers finish this search, and then we'll go from there, okay?
If no evidence can be shown for where the cash has come from, drastic action may have to be taken.
If he can't show us any kind of trail for this, and the paperwork's all going to come via his dad, the solicitor, you're going to have to take the money off him, okay? And then they'll.
I think he knows that actually.
Oh well, I've told
Yeah.
him. He's got a laptop, hasn't he?
He has a laptop
Yeah.
there.
If you ask him, is there any way he can show proof of where this money's come from on that?
Yeah. Okay, I'll
All
go
right.
speak to him.
Yeah.
I'll speak to him.
Yeah. We'll get everything out the back for a search.
Officer Johnson bags up the man's cash and leads him away for a search and further questioning.
So what are you going to do with the money you've got now then? This money you've got with you today, what are you going to do?
This one?
Yeah.
I was planning just to basically. First, we were thinking on doing an extension in the house.
Yeah.
But we didn't discuss further really. It's not a decision.
No.
So in the meantime, probably going to.
Have you got kids in that?
Yes.
How many?
2 kids.
Oh, all right.
The reason why I did this way, I don't have an account in Buenos Aires anymore. I mean,
But the man's answers are starting to convince. After Kim's background searches show nothing on their system, the officers have a change of heart.
Sarah, it's Kim. Hi, this is going nowhere. I think I've seen his business card. He's on $60,000 a year. He gets, on average, $5,000 to $6,000 a year bonus. He's got a 3-bedroom house. when Franco asked him what he wanted to use the money for, he was going to put some in the bank, and he was talking about actually perhaps doing an extension because his kitchen's a bit small. I mean, he's very relaxed. His non-verbals are very good as well. I think he's a genuine guy, and I think we'll just send him away. Yeah, and just say next time, make sure you bring all the documents with you.
Thank you very much. All right, mate, that way I'll come with you.
Despite their initial reservations, officers are happy with the man's story and let him leave the airport with all of his cash. At Gatwick Airport's South Terminal, a number of European flights have just arrived, and Border Agency Officer Paul is X-raying suitcases for excessive quantities of cigarettes. Cheap cigarettes purchased outside of the European Union are often brought into the country to be sold illegally for personal profit. One bag spotted on the X-ray is suspected to contain lots of non-EU cigarettes, so Paul heads to the luggage reclaim area to see who claims the bag.
If I can just see your passports.
Quick look in the black bag.
Thanks. Are these your bags?
Yeah.
Yes. Did you pack them yourself?
Yes.
Yes. Do you have anything to declare to customs?
Customs? We European Union.
Yes. Okay. Do you have any cigarettes with you? I know we.
Two for us.
Yeah, but how many cigarettes have you got? Any in your luggage? No. No cigarettes?
No.
Right, okay.
Apart from these ones.
Straight away, the couple are busted.
Cigarettes. So why didn't you tell me?
I don't know.
You don't know why you didn't tell me? Okay.
More cigarettes are found concealed in cereal boxes.
So why are they hidden?
I don't know.
You don't know why you hide them, and you don't know why you didn't tell me about them.
For friends.
You do know what's going to happen, don't you? You're going to lose all these cigarettes, yes? The cigarettes are not purchased in the European Union, are they? They're not tax-paid cigarettes anyway.
Is there a problem with this?
Yes, absolutely there's a problem. When you lie to me and you try to hide cigarettes, then yes, there's a problem. Do you not understand that?
The way the cigarettes have been hidden in cereal boxes suggests the couple know their allowance.
So how much can I bring with me? I am smoking.
I think you know exactly what you're allowed.
Yeah, but
and that's why you hid. That's why you hid these.
How much can I bring with me?
Well, you know that you're in the European Union, and if you buy tax-paid cigarettes in the European Union, then you can bring in this amount. But these aren't tax-paid cigarettes, are they?
That's it.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because at the moment you haven't been honest with me, so I need to check everything, don't I?
With a total of 1,800 cigarettes, the unpaid duty is worth £360.
Okay, two forms. I've got to issue these to you. One's a warning letter and one's a seizure information notice. Thanks very much.
Paul seizes all of the cigarettes and the couple are let off with a warning.
I mean, he just obviously looked down at his feet, almost like schoolboyish. If I don't look at you then and don't speak to you, then it's not really happening.
In Gatwick's North Terminal, a plane has just come in from Port of Spain via St. Lucia. Flights from the Caribbean are a popular transit route for drug smugglers, and officers working in immigration have concerns about one particular passenger. As he collects his suitcase from the luggage carousel, Officer Paul escorts him through to the customs channels.
Do you have anything to declare to customs? Cigarettes, alcohol, drugs, firearms? One bottle of alcohol, okay.
Sniffer dog Bren also shows an interest in the passenger.
He showed an awful lot of interest in this gentleman here. Didn't as such indicate, but it gave me enough information to say, yeah, I want that looked at.
Okay, sir, need to ask some questions about your luggage. Has anybody given you anything at all to bring here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Trinidad.
Okay. So when did you arrange this trip?
Well, she arranged this trip last month.
Last month?
Yeah, she told me last time she was in Trinidad to get her passport and she was invited to come up.
And who bought your ticket?
She did.
Do you know what she does for work?
Pardon?
Do you know what your auntie does for work here?
No.
No, you don't know that.
Paul conducts a thorough search of the man's bags for any signs of drugs.
So in Trinidad, you're a fisherman, yeah? Yeah. And how much do you get paid doing that then?
Well, I'm self-employed.
You're self-employed.
So
Depends how many fish you catch.
depends on how many fish.
So what are you intending to do while you're here?
Just visit.
And what made you want to visit this country?
Well, my aunt told me come up and see the autumn, how the leaves fall and whatnot.
But the man's story about the seasons doesn't convince.
So you've come here to see autumn, have you? Wow. It's your first time of travel. So you've never even been to another Caribbean island or anything? So I can leave that with you, and I'll have a chat with my boss, and I'll be back with you in a minute, all right? Just ticking a lot of boxes, mate. Yeah. Very potentially, third party, his auntie bought the ticket, he's got 300 Trinidad and Tobago dollars with him.
That's it.
He's never even travelled abroad before.
The dog did show interest in
On his body? This groin area, should we do strip? Yeah, do stripping. Hello, sir. I want to do a search on you, okay? To make sure you don't have anything on your body. What we'll do is we'll go to a private room, okay?
Suspecting he may have swallowed packages of drugs, the man is led away for further investigation. Across in Gatwick's South Terminal, it's not just drugs that the border agency are looking out for. Officer Liz is working in the baggage reclaim area with sniffer dog Cody, who's the airport's newest dog trained specifically in the detection of products of animal origin.
It stems back from when we had the foot-and-mouth outbreak, and we're trying to sort of stop any sort of food products coming out from outside the EU, certainly meats, cheeses, any sort of products of animal origin really. If there's any sort of parasites or any sort of bacteria, etc., that could get into our own food chain, this is what we really are trying to prevent.
Passengers from Istanbul have just arrived, and officers in the customs channels are making a number of seizures of meat and other banned foods. One passenger has caught the attention of officers after her suitcase was found to contain a number of animal skins.
I've had a look in the bag, I've come across these skins. She's claiming they're rabbit, but they're clearly not rabbit. They're all going to be detained. If they're okay, they'll be forwarded on to her, but until we get confirmation, they're going to be detained.
The animal skins will be sent to a specialist unit at Heathrow Airport who deal with items that are suspected to originate from endangered species.
Certainly a couple of these look like cat, some sort of big game cat probably. Deer, elk, maybe, and I mean the obvious thing would say bear there, but until we get it properly looked at, it's going to be very difficult to sort of see really exactly what we are dealing with.
It's an unusual discovery, so Officer Allen decides to use the seizure as a training aid for sniffer dog Cody.
He's still sort of quite a young dog, so he's still new to the actual work. So yes, we use the word scent library. It's a new scent for the dog. He's never come across these pelts before. So it's what we do, we can put him in the bag and hopefully he'll remember this smell. It's all part of a sort of development of a young dog, definitely.
The animal skins are hidden in a case.
Just start from there.
And Cody shows an interest first time.
Good boy, yay, clever boy.
It's early days, but Cody seems to have made a flying start to his new life as a sniffer dog at Gatwick. In the airport's North Terminal, the man suspected of having swallowed packages of drugs is still under investigation.
What I want to do on you is strip search, okay? Because the dog showed an interest around the groin area, okay?
Okay, I understand.
Officer Paul conducts a thorough search of the passenger, but he's not found to be hiding anything.
You're not intending to stay here, no?
No.
You sure?
Positively sure about that.
But you don't have a return ticket, no?
They told me I have to return on the 14th of November.
Yeah.
But I didn't get any thing as yet, so.
There's one final way of finding out whether the man is smuggling drugs inside his body.
Another way people can bring drugs in the country is to have it inside them. Yeah.
Oh.
We have a machine which can do an X-ray. You okay to do that for us?
Why not?
Why not? Okay, good man.
The fisherman volunteers to do a full body X-ray. It will take just moments to find out if he's got drugs inside him.
Right, come up here and I'll show you. Right, this is a conveyor belt, okay? Okay, so you're going to stand on this, stand up here, and it's going to move when I say, face this way, face this way. Alright, come closer to me here, that's it, legs apart a bit more. Alright, you need to stay very still, otherwise it won't work, I'm going to have to do it again, okay? Alright, it's going now, breathe, and breathe out.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Despite their suspicions, this time the X-ray shows there are no packages inside the man's body.
My colleague upstairs still has an interest in you, okay? He's basically a fisherman in Trinidad and Tobago. He doesn't earn very much money. His ticket was bought yesterday by a third party, which is supposedly an auntie, but he doesn't know what that auntie even does for a job or anything like that. Basically, his story and his reasons for coming here not only drew our attention, but also the immigration officials upstairs. So unless possibly they can find this auntie and she could substantiate why he's here, he may be on the next flight home. We have to see.
The man was questioned further by officers in immigration and was eventually denied entry into the UK. In Bristol, Customs Officer Joe has intercepted 2 passengers returning from Spain with 8,000 cigarettes. Spain is within the EU, so Joe just needs to work out their consumption rates and make sure they're not intending to sell the goods illegally. Easier said than done.
Right, and these are your cigarettes, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And how many do you smoke? Both?
Oh, I smoked a few, not too much. She smokes a lot more than me.
So how much do you smoke?
500 a
week. Sorry?
500 a week.
500 a week?
I smoked quite a few, but between
how many is that a day then?
I smoke like 50 or 60 a day.
50 or 60 a day. How many do you smoke?
Like 30. Like a trooper.
Have you been stopped once before?
No, I haven't.
No?
Yeah, we haven't been stopped. Who is he anyhow? What is he? He don't want to be a pilot or something?
Yeah, we didn't have anything.
No?
No.
Okay. All right, so
what are you, a pilot?
A pilot?
Well, you've got things
no, I'm a customs officer.
Oh.
All right, just bear with me a minute.
I didn't know that.
Joe now needs to work out if he believes their story.
She's got open packets on him. Can't really get a lot of sense out of him. But she reckons she smokes 50, 60, and she possibly could. She's already had one. She's going again on Sunday though. But I'm tempted to, with the way everything's going, just to write down what I got and see what she brings in on Sunday.
Yeah, it's fair enough, yeah.
Joe decides to let them go.
You want to put them in your bag?
Put them in?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
Sensing it's his lucky day, the passenger decides to try it on.
Got any bottles of spirit she could sell a bit cheap?
No, sorry.
No?
We're not allowed to do that, I'm afraid.
Hey?
No, we can't do that, I'm afraid.
Hey, can't you let us... Hey, a couple of bottles of spirits just for, for Christmas. We're getting the spirit of things.
Okay.
The lady will be searched again when she returns on Sunday.
If she brings anything through next time she travels, then she won't be. She'll be losing that basically. But I really doubt she will.
Got it down
there. It is.
2 trips before that.
And at the end of it, I think they're quite happy. He was quite happy, and quite a character. He even offered for me to go round his house for a cup of tea one day, which is quite nice.
In Dover, customs officers face a massive challenge sniffing out drug dealers from the thousands of trucks streaming across the channel 24 hours a day.
At the end of the day, we are here first and foremost to stop drugs coming into the country. That's our primary role. If we get a smell of anything, we'll track it down until we either find it or we're happy that there's nothing there.
Usually the intelligence hub picks out target vehicles based on a variety of profiles. But today, Mark is literally following his nose.
I just caught it again as well.
He's picked up a suspicious scent, and the Dutch truck must now be thoroughly searched.
Around the other side, when I was doing the outsides, I caught a whiff of what I thought was perhaps a herbal substance. I don't want to say to the driver's right behind you. Some kind of a possibly controlled drug. Yep. I think it's strong enough to have a look in the vehicle. And 3 of us have caught a whiff of it. Offload bay round there, and we want to take part of your load off and have a look in the lorry, okay? Yeah, over there, yeah.
Mark then spots something else that adds to his suspicions.
I just noticed that the tyres and some parts of it underneath are splattered with mud. Begs the question, has he been off-road somewhere? Has he been diverted for a purpose? The pallet he's getting off now is the one that was nearest to the smell, if you like, at the front left-hand corner. I can't smell anything now, funnily enough, but we'll have a look. Yeah.
The driver can claim compensation for any damage, but Mark thinks this truck needs this final test. Perhaps the smell of cannabis was coming from another vehicle, and Mark decides it's time to let this driver go.
Yeah.
Sprawdzono mi towar, naczepę, przewiercono, prześwietlono, sprawdzono całe auto. I myślę, że wszystko jest ok, że jest super, jest dobrze.
And as one job finishes, another ferry full of potential smugglers hits the docks.
Another target vehicle coming in on the 1300 arrival from Dunkirk. It's all go sometimes. I did say Thursday was a busy day.
Officers in Gatwick are also investigating a possible Class A drug smuggler acting suspiciously at immigration control.
As soon as she was starting to be questioned, she said she wants to go to the loo, so she might have something concealed inside her or on her body she wants to get rid of. Morning. So you've come in from Nigeria?
Yes.
You live in Nigeria?
No, I live here.
You live here? Whereabouts do you live here?
What am I?
Waltham Abbey? Okay, what do you do here?
Care assistant.
Okay, so how long have you been in Nigeria for this trip?
2 weeks.
Is that a holiday or business?
Holiday.
Okay, seeing family, friends?
Yeah, my family.
Okay. This is all your baggage?
Yes.
And you packed it all yourself?
Yes, please.
Okay, you come into the green channel, nothing to declare. Do you understand what you're allowed to bring into the...
My clothes and my food stuff.
Okay. You realise there are other restrictions on coming into the country, things like drugs and firearms. Has anyone asked you to bring anything here?
No.
Has anyone forced you to bring anything here?
No.
Okay, let's have a quick look, shall we? Okay.
Andy searches the bags. The passenger's still acting nervous, so he also swabs the bags for drugs. The bag tests positive for heroin, so this search will have to go further.
The body language is quite good. I've had a hit of, for heroin on the iron scan. I just want a quick rub down, make sure she's not got anything. Okay, just before you go, I'd just like for a lady officer to make sure you have nothing on you. Okay, you have any problem with that? Oh, good, thank you.
Hundreds of passengers a year are caught smuggling drugs through Gatwick. The body search will find out if this passenger is one of them. Back in Dover, the next target has been pulled by the specialist rummage team. It's an awkward load, exactly the sort of cover used by smugglers to conceal drugs and tobacco.
I mean, it's just such a loose description, isn't it? I mean, it is. It's a children's playground, isn't it, basically?
Yeah. Well, at the moment, it's been quite easy.
Yeah, the bags of balls, yeah.
And fiberglass.
Oh, right.
Exactly go
Yeah.
wrong there.
It might take a while. It's all going to be handballed off, basically. I mean, I don't know whether they get a forklift in there and get some of the stuff, but... I mean, yeah, you see things like this now and again, but it's not the norm. I mean, I'm just guessing it's some sort of children's playground that's been out in Spain for the season and is being brought back. It is a good cover load, isn't it? I mean, it's very difficult to get over the top of and to see in amongst.
After hours of offloading, the team finds some suspiciously heavy wooden boxes.
As soon as I saw it,
Yeah.
that's not right.
No, they've made it look like the spongy steps, haven't they?
It's extremely suspicious, so the team decide to drill the boxes.
And I mean, you saw the load, how difficult it was to get in. They've managed to get themselves in there, identified these packages. They've drilled a hole, and inside there's some green plastic. I think if it's in that one, it's in that one, it's in that one, and it's in that one.
Stuart thinks the plastic packaging could indicate drugs.
I would think that there'll be a large quantity of cannabis in there, maybe up to a tonne.
The driver is arrested while they work out what they've found.
But it's a slow, methodical process now. The guy's arrested, there's no rush.
After another 2 hours of careful unpacking, the moment of truth has arrived.
He's just about to take the lid off. I think in the porn industry, this is the money shot, isn't it?
It's a massive haul of what looks like cannabis.
Can't smell anything. I'm guessing it's cannabis resin in there.
You can't smell it.
Still can't get anything off
All
it.
it
No.
smells is plastic.
All the boxes are full of bales of cannabis, which have apparently come from a special garden.
The maker's manufacturer mark. It's just their. It's come from that particular cannabis farm in Morocco, or wherever it is it's come from, and that they put their own stamp on it, and that's how it gets shipped out.
The officers now want to know just how much they've seized from the smugglers. It's the biggest haul of cannabis at Dover for years.
So I put 928 kilos. About.
And the specialist rummage team are delighted.
928 kilos is nearly a tonne, so that's excellent. We've had a bit of a lean period actually, our team. We've gone 3 months maybe without anything. We've had a few little cigarette seizures might have been on the way, but this is what we call a proper job, really.
In Gatwick, the female officers have arrived to search the woman whose bags tested positive for heroin.
Can you do a rub-down search for us, just make sure she's got nothing on her.
Customs sees over 400 kilos of heroin each year, and officers in Gatwick regularly catch smugglers willing to go to great lengths to hide their packages.
If you're going to do it, you might as well be thorough. And the whole bending over, squatting thing, if somebody's got a package shoved up the backside, then if you bend them over and squat, then unfortunately you can either see the package or it'll come out generally.
Okay, and what you'll need to do is squat down for me so I can check that you haven't got anything inserted in any of your orifices, okay? So you'll need to squat down for me, turn around, bend over and part your buttock cheeks for me as well. But as I said, you won't be touched at any time, so there's no need to worry about that. And if I can get you to hold on to the side of the bench, okay, and if you can part your buttock cheeks a little bit with your hands, part your buttock cheeks.
That's it, don't fall forward.
That's fine, okay, and if you can just turn around for me and squat down for me as well. So I can, right, okay, that's fine.
The search finds nothing, but the passenger is surprisingly understanding of her treatment.
It's good because it makes you to be scared to do such things. I came to this country just to make a living for me and my children and my family. That's it. I do my work. I can work 24/7. I don't want just quick money or anything. I believe in my handiwork, what I can do with my hands to get money. I know that.
Today is the start of a 2-week tour of duty for the customs officers aboard Customs Cutter Searcher.
Which may cause a problem.
The intelligence hub has identified a ship heading to the Cornish port of Foy from Turkey, the gateway to Europe for heroin from the opium poppy countries of Asia.
She's Turkish with 15 Turkish crew on board. Obviously with a Turkish ship, we've got the possibility of heroin being on board the ship. There's also a good chance there'll be some cigarette smuggling from Romania because L&Ms are extremely cheap.
The race is now on to beat the ship into Foy, so the officers track the vessel into port.
As may not be expecting us, I doubt very much they'll be expecting us.
Catching smugglers off guard is vital to prevent any drugs or tobacco being thrown overboard before it can be seized.
It's okay. Okay if we come in, Captain?
Have you a crew declaration?
Yes.
Stores declaration and also a ship's declaration, Captain?
The captain appears to run a tight ship, but sometimes the opportunity for the crew to make extra money on the side can't be resisted.
My crew will be checking the vessel now, and if there's any problems at all, I'll come and have a word with you. I'm not expecting any, so that's okay. You've had no problems with drugs or anything with the crew?
No. I'm sure that.
You're sure that's okay, yeah? Okay, that's fine. Right, thank you, Captain. I mean, it's from Turkey, so I mean, our suspicions are aroused for heroin really more than anything else. Also, as we mentioned before, cigarettes are cheap in Turkey, and it's also come via Romania and Spain, which are also quite cheap for buying cigarettes. So there is a chance that the crew might be tempted to smuggle large quantities of cigarettes. But what we're really after here is heroin.
Investigation officers in Dover also work around the clock to stop organised criminal gangs bringing drugs into Britain.
Back in July of 2004, a vehicle was stopped at the Eastern Docks at Dover, driven by a gentleman by the name of David Williams. When his lorry was stopped and searched, a couple of brown-taped packages were found in the cab of his lorry.
The packages were full of drugs.
As a result of that, David Williams was arrested. And that was how it all began.
Williams was questioned about the drugs, while his truck, belonging to Peter Jones Haulage, was impounded and searched, much to the annoyance of its owner.
Well, Mr. Jones would have been quite enthusiastic to get his trailer back anyway, because he had a business to run, apparently. There had been one or two calls where he would make inquiries as to when he could have his trailer back. And, well, he was overly enthusiastic, in my opinion.
Alerted by his urgency to recover the truck, investigators began to dig into Peter Jones's background.
Peter Jones had been convicted twice before. In 1997 as part of a conspiracy to import drugs within adapted exhausts in units, articulated units. At that point, I sort of decided that perhaps we ought to look a bit deeper into either the unit or the trailer.
Now knowing Peter Jones's pedigree, the search wouldn't miss the clues a second time.
In the side locker of the trailer, there was a box of grey bungs, and they were sort of consistent with the bungs that were holding the mudguards over the wheels on the trailer.
They found a strange tool which unlocked a secret compartment full of Class A drugs.
Once they'd finished the search, they removed a further large number of packages and a significant quantity of cocaine and heroin amongst those packages.
The elaborately engineered concealment fitted perfectly with Jones's previous attempts, and it was obvious why he'd been so keen to get his truck back. A team of specialist officers went to Liverpool to arrest Jones and gather financial evidence, which would prove his lavish lifestyle could only be funded by drug dealing.
So it's put to Mr. Jones during the interview that he seemed to have a far better standard of living than the officer who interviewed him, who coincidentally was on the same money that was declared by Jones. And Jones quite simply said, well, he didn't drink and he didn't smoke, and by making these savings he could afford the extra 3 or 4 cars a year, the big house, the luxury holidays.
When interviewed, Jones denied any knowledge of the attempted importation.
His response to the drugs being found were that he had no idea they were in his trailer. His response to the fact that the trailer had been adapted suggested to him that, in fact, it wasn't his trailer after all. It must have been David Williams that switched the trailers, and in fact his trailer had gone somewhere, disappeared. So I set out to prove that the trailer did belong to him.
But investigators found serial numbers on the recently replaced tyres, which they traced to a supplier. They confirmed it was Jones who'd paid for the tyres, in cash. The game was surely up for Jones, but he wasn't ready to give in yet.
He'd pleaded not guilty for some time, and it was quite surprising that he had, bearing in mind the evidence that was gradually building up.
Jones pleaded guilty on the day of the trial and was sentenced to 13 years in prison for attempting to import drugs worth over £1 million.
He was a very greedy man, and he became complacent, and he was caught.
Meanwhile, back in Cornwall, no heroin has been found, but a search for cigarettes is underway.
Is that okay, yeah?
The Turkish crew are only allowed 200 cigarettes each whilst in UK waters. All other tobacco must be kept in a sealed store called the Pond.
Right then, boys, as far as the crew themselves go, nobody has declared more than 200 cigarettes. And only 4 people have any spirits at all.
But what the crew declare isn't always the whole truth. and so the officers must search the entire ship for illegal goods which might be destined for the local black market. Not surprisingly, the cabin searches reveal a few stray cigarettes.
It's okay so far. I mean, some of the crew have got a little bit extra, but there's no point upsetting people just for tiny quantities of cigarettes.
But Woody also finds a stash in the ship's office and in the wheelhouse.
Cigarettes?
The ship may not be as clean as first thought.
Was the cigarettes that were there earlier on? These? Okay. We've checked in here already. We've checked the chief officer's cabin, and the cigarettes that were up there have moved down here now, and they're moving things around to try and confuse us. Right, on this occasion, can you tell the chief I'll just take the cigarettes from him? Otherwise, we have these going ashore for business, yeah? And we want no business in Foy. So I wouldn't usually take a small amount like that, but because he's been obstructive in trying to move the cigarettes around, that's the reason I'm taking them from him. Well, we're just a bit concerned that there seems to be a lot of stray cigarettes around the vessel.
Yes.
We found, like you said, 300 in the chat table, 300 in the office. Yes. Are there any more cigarettes before we search the vessel any further now?
I think no, Shay. Just a moment, please. No.
No, that's definitely no more cigarettes, no?
No.
If there are any more cigarettes now, this is an opportunity for you to ask the crew to bring the cigarettes to us now before we find them. If we find cigarettes now when we search, we will have to work for them, and we will be cross, and we will probably find the vessel. Okay. So this is a chance for you to come to us now with any cigarettes, yeah?
No, we don't have the more cigarettes.
No more cigarettes. Okay, good. Thank you, Captain.
Okay.
But Woody then finds another 2,000 cigarettes in the captain's cabin, which will have to be seized.
Yes.
In one drawer, or four. He stood in front of the next drawer. I searched everywhere, waited for him to move. I opened the drawer he stood in front of, opened the drawer, found the remainder.
The embarrassed captain asks Senior Officer Colin for clemency.
Could I take back the little bits? Because not enough our cigarettes for the Turkey from here. For that reason, could I take a little bit more cigarettes?
You go back to Turkey?
11 days. Yes.
11 days trip?
From here. Plus 2 days here.
Yeah.
13 days.
Captain, I'm sorry, but the answer's...
If
you said
your opinion.
I know, it might be. But if you put in the list, you'd said the cigarettes that you had, we could have had them in the bond locker, but because you
yeah, of course.
did that, but you didn't tell us you had the cigarettes. Okay, and there's in this country, I know some places you go, there's representation, customs come, they take cigarettes, all that happens. Here, it doesn't happen.
The cigarettes will all be destroyed, and the vessel will receive a hefty fine if caught breaking the rules again. There was insufficient evidence to charge the driver of the playground truck, but 980 kilos of cannabis worth £2.8 million is safely off the streets.